Hi guys, nothing to prove here. Today's a beautiful day, cause any day one can be out on two wheels is a beautiful day. And yeah, we're taking the CFMOTO 800 MT out. Not just any MT, not the Sport, the Touring. Say Touring, what's the difference between the base, the Sport, and the Touring? There are only two models. Well, you get cruise control, steering damper, engine plate guard, heated grips, heated seats, and a few other things. Also, what I like about this bike is it does have an adjustable windscreen, which some of the other competition does too, and so does the base model. It's the same thing, but I do like that option because some of the other bikes in this group don't have it. So now you can say 800, 799cc, it's the KTM 790 motor. CFMOTO bought from KTM, except with one caveat. This motor has 15% less torque than the 790 Adventure had in it. So that's not necessarily a good thing. Also, the power is dropped about 3 ponies, 4 or 5 PS too. That's also not necessarily a good thing. So now you know why KTM dropped the 790 motor and went to the 890 for Euro 5, because that's what it did to it. Well, and plus I don't know what CFMOTO is doing to it, because now they're making this plant there, this engine there in China, in their China plant. Now, how does this thing stack up against the competition? So everybody and their brother has an adventure bike here. You can see on this list from Yamaha, the Japanese 4, almost the Japanese 4. Honda doesn't yet. That's at the bottom of the list, the Trans Alp. Whether that's going to be an 850 or a 750 is yet to be seen. And Honda's tight-lipped, although there are rumors. No, guys, don't send me emails or comments asking me, because I don't know, and I don't want to hear till there's an official announcement from Honda, because there's a million rumors about that. But I have the CFMOTO way down at the bottom of this list because I have these arranged by weight. Say, what do you mean? Why? Well, it's a middleweight adventure. Middleweight. Well, most of you guys would consider a middleweight because you don't want the weight of a heavyweight. Very simple. So weight is my #1 priority here on this list, and you can see it's way down there, 231 or 509 pounds wet. The only one heavier in this group is the BMW. And then also it's barely beating the Moto Guzzi there. So, and then right behind it is the Desert X and the Multistrada V2. So you can see this is in the bigger, heavier class of bikes. But power though, it's not bad on power, but when you get into these bigger, heavier bikes in this class, it's a little subpar. But you can say, hey, it's still beating the Kawasaki Versys and the Suzuki. Sure, but those are also lighter. And they're a lot smaller engine and also a lot smaller price tag than this. So as you see this model here, this will be 12.5. Now you add destination or something, blah, 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 and all that, you know, you're going to be looking at 13. So, but 12.5, you can see where this thing starts out. Now, and that will be with the 2 hard cases and the top case. That includes those in that 12.5 price here in Germany. So the Sport doesn't come with all that stuff. And that's right at 9. Yeah, you can get into them for low 9s, 9.5 is somewhere in there. Well, no, wait a minute. I have here 9.9. Just under 10 grand. So, but you can also get into, look at that, the V-Strom or the Versys. Yeah, a lot less. Yeah, that's a lot of money when you're talking 15% less. But also it's less power. But it's, in my humble opinion, it's actually not less bike. Okay, so now you guys see the numbers here and see where this bike fits into these numbers. How do those numbers, these Powertrain numbers, feel on the street? Somewhere between 4.5 and 5.5 to 6, there's a flat spot in the torque it doesn't want to pull. That's interesting too. That there, now see, once it gets to 6 it wants to pull, but from 4 to 6 it's kind of you sure? That's what it says to me. So this there, come on, there, finally. Yeah, it's definitely there. But the quick shifter's okay, and it's only on this Touring. You don't get it on the base model. But overall, this powertrain, engine and transmission together, they do work well, yes, but it feels like a previous version of KTM's. There, like I'm on throttle, and I went to go up, and it didn't go up. Interesting. But when you use the clutch, then it's nice and smooth. So overall, the powertrain, I'll give it 1 thumb up. Considering the price point here, guys, that's what I'm considering. Coming up here to the suspension, fully adjustable KYB 43 millimeters, 160 mils of travel, sitting on a 19-inch spoked. If you get the base model, it'll be cast. 320 mil discs with a set of 4-piston J1s. You can see right there, radial mount also. Coming back here, same KYB, but there's no remote for the preload on this. Down here, 2-piston J1 and a 260 millimeter disc with a 17-inch. Now, how did this chassis feel on the street? All right, let's try the rear brake. Oh, not bad. I don't think I've ever complained about J1 brakes. Let's try the front. Oh, that's okay. Good feel, good feedback. I didn't like the feedback I was getting, but I knew what was coming. So beggars can't be choosers right now, right? Ford budget brakes. These J1s are not quite, I wouldn't call them budget. There's this vibration in the front with this feedback. But it's predictable, controllable. I know exactly what I'm doing. And the stability of this suspension in a corner is lacking a little bit. I don't have this confidence to throw this thing over in a corner. You know, especially at higher speeds. Interesting. It's not giving me that confidence. That's what it's not saying, let's go lean over in a corner at high speeds. But it's an adventure bike. But, you know, at 85, 86 kilometers per hour, which is what, 50 miles an hour? That's not fast. Coming up to the ergos, take a look at this here. This is the case racks. They're already coming on this bike, except you can see if you step back, yeah, that muffler is going to cut into the carrying capacity of the right back, which is fairly common on a lot of bikes. Nice big rack for the top case here. 825 mils off the ground. Funny, I thought it would be kind of low for me, but it's actually not. Look at that. I'm like, hey, this is not bad. And the riding position is fairly comfortable. I was surprised with such a low seat on here. Nice and big seat. It looks like you could get a nice sized passenger on there. And the top case that does come with this has a nice pad on there for your passenger to sit up against. 19-liter tank, and yeah, you're going to need all 19 of those liters because this thing only gets 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which that's fairly common, especially if you're considering the Tiger, for example. But the BMW is a lot less than that. If you're considering the 900 XR, that's a lot less than that. I'll put up some other ones here too. But full up, this thing weighs 231 kilos. That's fairly hefty in this middleweight adventure group. Unless you're talking the BMW 850 GSA, then that's a lot higher. But how do these kilos feel in the city? As far as wanting to lean over, this bike is not confidence inspiring, although it's fine. But there's too many other things going on here.
with this throttle mapping in town here. This is really, the on-off is abrupt. Look at that. I'm trying to be subtle. That's the kicker, guys. Okay, I guess if you're used to it, then yeah, what's going on here? Oh, what? Oh, I got to turn here. See, I didn't even know where to turn. I'm too busy paying attention to what's going on with the bike instead of the ride. So in town, I'll give it 1 because of this throttle response. And I can't focus on the ride driving, instead of I'm focused more on the bike. Well, here I am sitting at about 120. That's 75 miles an hour. And the wind is right at the top of my helmet. I have the windscreen in the all the way up position, and boy, that mirror is annoying. Won't stay there. I gotta tighten that down. Shoulders, a little bit of wind on each shoulders and arms. Lots of wind on my hands. I don't know if these handguards are doing any good or not. But the riding position, yeah, I could do this all day on a highway, no problem. But there's a lot of wind buffeting though, more so than the 900 XR, more so than the Tiger 900, more so than the Moto Guzzi windscreen is even lower, but it's less wind buffeting. And this is most of the time when you're on the highway, guys, this is what you're in. Yeah, if you live around a metropolitan area, you got trucks, cars, everything. But overall, let me get over and see if the buffeting decreases here. It's about the same. It didn't make a difference.
Coming up here to the controls, actually very good haptics. I was pleasantly surprised with these haptics. Let me turn on the TFT, and also up here too, very good haptics. The mirrors were kind of, I don't know, I don't care for them too much. The TFT works, and actually works fairly well. The only thing I do not like about the oh, it looks like I need to get gas. The only thing I do not like about the TFT is, for example, if you want to turn on the heated grips, you got to go into the menu system to do that, like a KTM. I want a button on the bar like the BMW. And I think Ducati does it also for the heated grips and seat. So that you could have simplified that CFMOTO, but I think I see a lot of similarities between this bike and the 890 Adventure. I'm just like, the TFT, a lot of similarities there in there. Even the functionality of the windscreen. So overall, verdict. Considering the price, $12,500, because then you're ready to go on a trip with the 3 cases, hard cases too, not soft, hard. You can't beat that for a 799cc motor with this much power. It's very, well, you can't beat it. This is, so if budget is your main concern, consider this bike, guys. Take it for a test ride and see if you like it. I personally would settle for the Kawasaki. That's one of my all-time favorite bikes, budget bikes, and that's why I have a video that says best budget bike out there, because you're getting a lot of bike for that. You are getting a lot of bike for this also. It's just a matter of, do you want to step up from the Versus in size and power? Then you have to look at something like this and still be in the budget category. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Number 1, guys, ride safe. That's most important on the list. And number 2, ride like there's nothing to prove, guys. Take care. Cheers.